Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is BNHA, second generation, chapter 23, and this one is titled Out in the Open. Neither Hiyoko nor Kana heard the rest of Brian's very detailed prayer as they focused on not holding each other's hands too firmly. Don't squeeze his hand, Kana berated internally in sign. I hope my hand is not sweaty. I actually really enjoy holding his hand in mine, Hiyoko thought, making sure to lift the feather from Kana's shoulder so that the sensing hero couldn't hear his inner thoughts. Once Brian had finished, the pair let go of each other's hands and everyone started eating, Hiyoko's attention still focused on the hand that Kana had been holding. On any missions at the moment? Hawks asked his son. Yeah, actually, he said, resetting the feather onto Kana's shoulder so that he could relay the conversation to his friend. What's it about? Hawks asked. Well, we're just investigating cases at the moment, Hiyoko said, but it appears that a jewellery shop is being targeted. 3, Kana signed, holding up 3 fingers. Yeah, Hiyoko said with a chuckle. 3 cases. Can you share details? Hawks asked, his detective instinct being activated now. You retired honey, Mrs. Takami chided. Don't get interested, otherwise you'll be wanting to be involved and I'll have to chase you all over town and drag you back from doing secret hero work. Honey, where's my super suit? Anthony chimed in, quoting the only line from The Incredibles that matters. Exactly, Mrs. Takami chuckled. Edna Mode is a damn icon, Brian added after finishing his mouthful. Bless her work, he added, flicking his hand back, raising palm to the ceiling. Come on, just a little bit of detail? Hawks begged Hiyoko. It wouldn't interest you, Dad, Hiyoko replied with a smirk. It'll be a sneak job. I'd love to see you and Kana in action together, Hawk said brightly. So would I, Brian leered, wiggling his eyebrows at Hiyoko, who initially looked confused, but then suddenly caught the lurid undertone and blushed furiously. Stop it, Anthony hissed, jabbing Brian in the side. What? Brian whined. Boo-boo, you've ruptured my epiglottis. He tenderly rubbed his side, nursing his arm like it was well and truly broken. I hardly touched you, Anthony replied defensively, reaching across to rub Brian's side. And your epiglottis is in your throat, baby. What is Anthony saying? Kana suddenly signed to Hiyoko, who had lifted the feather from Kana's shoulder and was hovering it there with a very flustered look on his face. Hiyoko looked at his friend, still trying to understand why Brian had suddenly said something like that, and his shy look made Kana's heart race. What? Kana signed. Hiyoko quickly dropped the feather back to Kana's shoulder and lied. Brian said something about a neighbour and Anthony told him to stop being mean and now they're... He glanced at the pair, kissing. Kana looked up and saw Brian peck Anthony on the lips as the taller male blushed and then quickly looked away. Oh, there's so much love here tonight. I'm thriving, Brian sung, flicking his hands around before getting back to eating. Kana and Hiyoko were now awkwardly blushing, and Mrs. Takami and Hawks had already continued their conversation about Hawks doing secret hero work, with Mrs. Takami telling him that she knew about Need More Milk, which was supposed to be a secret organisation of older heroes who occasionally did late-night vigilante-type work under the cover of darkness, using that code when they called each other to a mission. Anyway, Hiyoko commented to Kana, while I think about it, we should maybe go over the case tonight, without the students. Would tonight be too late? That is fine, Kana signed with a smile. Okay, cool, Hiyoko replied with a smile, gazing into Kana's eyes for just a little too long before clearing his throat and looking away. Oh, what's wrong with me? He screamed internally, lifting the feather again so that Kana couldn't hear him. Are you okay? Kana signed to Hiyoko, tapping his shoulder to get his attention. Hiyoko quickly dropped the feather back down again. Yeah, I'm fine. Why? You keep lifting the feather, then putting it down, then lifting it up. Is there something you don't want me to hear? Kana asked, half teasing, half asking curiously. Sorry, no, I'm fine. I don't know why I keep doing that, Hiyoko lied with a nervous chuckle. Kana gave him a suspicious look, but didn't question any more, and went back to eating. The rest of the dinner was a little awkward, as Hiyoko tried not to pay too much attention to how he was feeling towards Kana, suddenly realising that he was really into his friend. And then the end of dinner came, the cake was cut and eaten, and things started to wrap up for the night. Well, Hiyoko said as he stood up to leave, Kana and I need to work on this mission. Thank you so much for coming, Mrs. Takami said as she stood and walked around the table to hug her son, then Kana. Nagi-boo, come here, Brian said as he sashayed over to hug his nephew, giving him a kiss on each cheek. Thanks, Bri, Hiyoko chuckled, wiping his cheeks of the wet kiss. Anthony stretched his hand out to shake Kana's, and the pair shared a knowing glance before Brian stepped over to kiss Kana on the cheek. Take care of my baby, he said to Kana, signing the word baby. Kana looked at Hiyoko with confusion, and the winged hero chuckled with embarrassment. He said to look after me, he said sheepishly. He signed baby? Kana signed with a confused look on his face. Yeah, Hiyoko replied with a laugh, patting Kana's shoulder, then jerking his head towards the door. Come on, let's go. The pair made their retreat and headed for the door, exiting quickly while calling their goodbyes. Man, that was crazy, Hiyoko commented with a laugh to Kana, who seemed to be a little nervous as the pair walked down the path together. Wait, Kana signed, grabbing a hold of Hiyoko's shoulder to stop the hero. What is it? Hiyoko asked, stopping and looking at the sensing hero. I need to tell you something, he signed nervously. Hiyoko waited, perturbed by Kana's sudden odd behaviour as of late. Slowly Kana held his hand up, thumb, index finger and pinky finger up, with middle and ring finger to his palm. The sign for I love you. I love you too, man, Hiyoko chuckled. I don't know why you're being so nervous. No, Kana signed. I love you. I love you, Hiyoko, not as a friend. It took a second for Hiyoko to catch on, then his heartbeat went crazy, face flushing as he stared at Kana. Please say something, Kana signed nervously. Kana, I have to go, Hiyoko said quickly, throwing his wings out wide and shooting up into the sky. Kana's eyes brimmed with tears as he watched Hiyoko disappear at the speed of light, wondering if he had completely ruined their friendship. Oh, Kana. Okay, well, hang in there for tomorrow's chapter. I promise it will be okay. Trust me, I'll see you tomorrow.